Day 211. Hello, it is I, Dr. Brian Lorgon 111, and welcome back to Blueprints. I did a pass through my notes and cleaned some stuff up. I only found one new promising lead other than me really sitting in a tank and thinking hard about everything, which is there's some music sheets that say trees found inside will never shade. And there was an Alzara prophecy that's heard like children out in the forest or whatever, and then pattering steps in the courtyard. And so I spent a couple days off camera with the blessing of the monk to set things up so that I can draft the courtyard and the outer grounds, because I think there's two things kind of cluing me in that this could be a good thing to do. We seek what's in the shade of truth. Trees found inside will never shade, but now they're in the outer ground, so they're kind of outside. They do have shade. There's a sledgehammer here, by the way, so I guess I'll take that. Hooray. We have dig spots that I could try digging. We seek what's in the shade of truth. What's in the shade of truth? We've got a courtyard. Well, this is just shade of trees. It's not necessarily shade of truth. There's the way that the shade is, like there's an interesting like shaded part of the grass on like each of the four outside corner kind of things. Like there's dark grass on like the outside over here. This one kind of looks like an arrow. Could I dig over here if I had a shovel or a jackhammer or something? Guess I could try to get that and come back. Is there anything else that's noteworthy about the courtyard on the outer grounds? I'm really running low on ideas, as you can maybe tell. Well, I already managed to cut off the entire house because I don't have a key card. But I did manage to get myself a shovel. So I guess we'll dig up the spots here. And then I'm also going to try digging around in just like other random spots, or like, you know, pointing my head down at the ground and see if we can get lucky. I'm getting observatory stars thanks to a lab experiment, so that's nice. I was thinking possibly in this corner. Can I dig anything? We've looked at the weird rocks among these trees. There's 3 rocks. There's 3 rocks. There's 2 rocks. And there's 4 rocks, I believe. Yeah. Among these trees. I don't think it's meaningful. But we've looked at it again now. It doesn't seem like there's anywhere else to dig. And so it seems like this idea doesn't pan out. Do I have a break room in this house? I do not even have a break room in this house. So I guess I can call it a day anywhere. So I guess I'll call it a day here since this run is kind of ruined. And yeah, I think I need to just like come up with a mashup of all of the loose ends that I currently have, just to talk through them, because I don't know how to make progress at this point, I think. But today we had a garden cottage. I need to go back and, I'm in the study by the way, look at the footage from the other day, because this is Arch Aries, this is I guess Morning Bay or whatever, and this is, you know, Fen Aries over here. And I guess over here we'd have like Corarica and Vera. I think this is the planet for the most part. So yeah, I might have been making things up before, but I'll have to check and see if the planet was any different. In any case, since the last segment, do I want to open this? I don't have but 1 key right now, so I'm going to choose not to. But let's remember that there's a chest back there. Since the last segment, I spent a bit of time working on the 25 word puzzle that we got out of the vault and was not making progress. And so I decided to ask a friend of mine for some hints or nudges. There's another crate over here. I've got 3 keys now. The odds are I'll probably get a key back. Or otherwise get... I got keys back. Okay, that's fine. So that turned out to be a profit. Do I want to take the walk-in closet here? Not particularly. So I asked for some hints on the 25-word puzzle that I couldn't solve. And... I'm frustrated with myself because actually one of the ideas that I tried was in fact like the right idea and I just screwed up the execution. The music room is good because now we'll get some nice music to have in the background. Of course the dog next door just started barking. But yeah, let's talk about this. So... we had found the 25 words in the vault, and in order to get into the vault, I had to go to number 53, which was the numeric core of the coat of arms that is found both in the master bedroom and the wine cellar. And the sum of the digits of the core were 8, and so key 8 unlocked vault door 53. And we got the letter from Herbert about the note that Simon had in his journal that was written by his mother, Baroness Aravier, with 25 words that Herbert said that he couldn't decode. And once again, Herbert also was speaking as the developer, giving us the implicit message, just as we found at the end of the tunnel with the Blueprints book, that perhaps, you know, we've reached the end of our journey and some mysteries can go unsolved or whatever. Basically, the game is kind of trying to hint us toward off-ramping people who don't want to continue anymore. But I did talk to my friend and ask him, and there is another ending. And the 25-word thing was solvable. And one of the things that I had tried on my own was taking the quote-unquote numeric core of each of the words by first turning them into numbers. So suppose the letter A is 1, and B is 2, and C is 3. And I tried that on a few of the words to get numbers back out, but they weren't always numbers 1 to 26, and they didn't seem to be spelling anything. And so I gave up on that idea. But after a bit of back and forth from my friend trying to give me vague hints, he said there might be a 26th word. And I was thinking about another recent hint that I found with a 4-letter word, clue equals 3. And so if I took CLUE, which is C is 3, and L is 12, and U is 21, and E is 5, you can get a numeric core from that word of 3. So I decided, oops, maybe I screwed up what I was doing before, because I was doing the numeric cores by hand, A, like on a pen and notepad paper, and B, with the numeric coring algorithm, you start with the first number being a positive number, but then you have to subtract and multiply and divide, but the order of operations is unspecified, so there's 6 possible order of operations to apply to the other 3 numbers, and then you have to take the smallest whole number that you get as a result of doing that. So I decided to, since I am a computer programmer, write some code to do it for me, and then I would not screw it up because I screwed up 2 numbers in 2 different ways in like just the first 2 words. Like I went back and reviewed what I did wrong when I was doing it on paper by hand. In any case, here is the code that I have written. And when you do this, the 25 words decode into 25 letters that spell out still water tints blank books. And so I was sitting here looking at this new clue, still water tints blank books, thinking about it. And for in real life reasons that don't really matter, I had a few hours where I couldn't record, but I was just sitting here with my notes looking at this. And so I'm imagining There have been other games where you had to dip a book in water in order to cause like new words to appear or whatever. Like it sounds kind of like that kind of stuff. Still water tints blank books. And so I was thinking, well, in order to like get books underwater, there was the pump and the reservoir, and we already like pumped out the reservoir or whatever, and like the safe house. Like, did the safe house get flooded, or how did the water stay out of there? Because there wasn't even a door on it, like sealing it. But obviously, they couldn't stay underwater. A lot of like the water physics in the game kind of don't make sense, and so we'll just ignore all of that. I was thinking about like pump up the water in the reservoir and then pump it back down and then like run back down to the corkboard where it says we seek what's in the shade of truth or whatever, and maybe something else if it's still wet would be showing up. But that seemed kind of silly. There was the aquarium where we pumped out the water in the aquarium and then we were able to like see some symbols in the aquarium that led to different things. I was also thinking about the greenhouse sheet music because it's kind of like being sprayed on by the sprinklers in the greenhouse and it's being tinted, but neither of those are books. And I was trying to think if there's any books that we could use the pump system to like make it underwater or above water. I was thinking, could I pump the reservoir even higher and somehow like flood the tomb, but like the layout and the physics of the game, that doesn't make any sense. But then I was thinking about other ways to try to like wet down a book. There's a watering can item in the game that you can use in green rooms to pour some water and then get gems. And there's even a mechanic for refilling the watering can. Like you can bring it to the kitchen faucet and like refill the watering can, which seems kind of crazy. So I was like, what if there's a way, just as it was kind of unexpected when I brought an ignition device into the freezer, and all of a sudden I got a prompt that I could use like a torch on the frozen letter in the freezer or whatever to thaw it out. What if there's a way to bring a watering can to a book and pour water on the book and then something new will show up in the book? And so I was trying to decide what books I might want to try that on, and the draft copies of Blueprints and New Clue that we found in the tomb were kind of like candidates. Swimbird is a bird who wants to swim underwater or whatever, so that one seems like a good candidate. And I think for other reasons, I actually have that possibly like coming up in the library next. But then it occurred to me that if Baroness Aravier really was the author of this puzzle, it would have to be something from her time period. The foreman had brought her the information about numeric cores that we found in the rusted old filing cabinet downstairs. And there is a book from that time period, the foreman's copy of Realm and Rune, that's all beat up. So I think I might need to use the watering can on that book and something will happen. But I'm thinking about all of this and I couldn't actually play and record until now. And while I was thinking about it, I was like, this game is full of puns, and it says still water tints blank books. Still water. There is a still when we dynamited out the trading post. And what if it's actually like the alcohol that's in like the still water or whatever that we need to use? And so the thing I want to do the most right now is to try to get a watering can to the trading post. But the watering can is a very hard object to get. It's usually found either in the greenhouse or I think I found it in the Lost and Found as well. Both of those I currently have as rare rooms. So it's going to be hard to get. I guess the trading post, I might be able to trade for the watering can. I didn't think about that. So I should bring a bunch of other items there potentially. But I want to see, and I might need to empty out the watering can before I try to fill it with water from the still possibly as well. I don't know. In any case, that is all stuff that I'm thinking about right now. And the music in here does not last very long. I was thinking I wanted just to have some background music in the game playing while I had a bunch of just talking at you to do. But I guess I'm done with the talking at you for now. And yeah, so back to our regularly scheduled drafting already in progress, and hopefully I'll be able to find myself a watering can. Well, I drew coat check. I've already got the solarium, and I think since I want the greenhouse, I've never picked up the royal scepter out of coat check to see if I get the chance to draw what color I want. So let's retrieve the scepter. And when you first find Royal Scepter, choose a color. It says black prints are more common today. I did not choose that. If you call it a day in a black bordered room, Royal Scepter will not be lost at the end of the day. Alright, that's interesting. Why did it say black prints? Like, I didn't choose that. I don't understand how the Royal Scepter works in that regard. I don't think I care about the scepter anymore, so it's probably fine. I wanted to have Coat Check available in case I find the watering can. I might need to have it on another day. Alright, well, I got my work cut out for me. Well, yeah, I do have Swimbird here at the library. I wanted it because I wanted to check out the list of people who had checked it out. It occurs to me... Oh, that's interesting. If I click on the magnifying glass, this card goes away. Occasionally, there are things written in blue ink in terms of the sign-out stuff. And I was wondering if all the blue ink checkouts were important, and I did not have the list that's here. A lot of people have checked this book out. For whatever reason, I never took screenshots of this book. And so let's read it again together really quick. I'm a dare bird, daring and brave bird, diving so deep, riding on a wave bird. It's not a dare I would not do, there's not a depth I would not dive to. Fishies. My friends are not very open. The idea that I like the sky less than the ocean. Bird in the sky, not in the sea. That's what they say looking at me. You're not a seabird, you're a swimbird. You're not a swimbird. If you're a friend bird, fly in the windbird. Shouldn't you always listen to friends? For they know me best, or so they pretend. So I dare not dive, I dare not swim, dare not set foot in the ocean again. I dare not smile, and I dare not laugh, for they will do it on my behalf. And I dare not dream, and I dare not speak, for maybe my friends won't like the real me. And I'll say goodbye to my dreams in the sea, and wonder why daring feels just like defeat. So yes, very sad book here. I don't know that I've ever used a magnifying glass, so I'll take a moment on my own, just in case there's anything. Dare is always bolded in this book, by the way. I still have not tried out Dare mode to find out, like, what it is about. I should probably do that at some point. I didn't see anything with the magnifying glass. But yeah, I wanted to get all of these cards screenshotted, because they will potentially affect when I try to like timeline out everything that happens in the game. And yeah, also the blue pen, like I've been keeping track of everything that's written in blue pen in case somehow that becomes a clue for something. But I'm still trying to see if I can get the greenhouse or Lost and Found. I don't know that I've ever tried to look and see if the Royal Scepter was workshoppable. Kind of doubt it, but since we're here, the Royal Scepter does not show up as an item that I can workshop. Okay, fair enough. Hey, the greenhouse. It actually showed up. Not the best ideal location for it, but I'll take it. Is there a watering can here? There is! Okay. I have rerolls, so I would be able to get the trading post. I have rerolls via the study and plenty of gems. I might need to empty this out. I have plenty of steps. Just while I'm here, I just want to glance at this again. But I don't think there's anything to see that has not been seen before a long time ago. And can there be any other items in here somewhere? I don't think so, and this is closed off. Okay, if I want to empty out the watering can, do I have somewhere else I could refill it if I just want to refill it with water? Where are the places that you can fill it? You could fill it in the kitchen? Yeah, I'm actually not sure. So maybe I should just head down now with it filled with its water that it's already got and try that first. If this is what I want to really try. I don't have a card key card, whatever, but the elevator is already down if I take the elevator from the foundation down now, I could head out immediately to the precipice and then come back up if I needed to do more. Yeah, I think that seems reasonable. So, thing number 1. Realm and Rune exists here. Foreman's copy do not remove from sight. Strictly speaking, this book did not have to be here. It kind of teases some of what you're going to learn later, once you can actually get the original copy in the library. I did not get any kind of prompt to use the watering can here. It's not a blank book, per se, but it is kind of old and smudged. And still feels like a possibility, so I guess the next thing I want to try to do is to get the trading post and see if the watering can be filled up with water from the still. Can I even... I don't even know if I can fill up the watering can if it's already full. Like, I wonder if I should have spent some of the water already. Oh, one thing at a time. Okay, the still is in the trading post. So I want to redraw. I can rotate. Oh, I forgot that I still had the courtyard here because I called it a day there last time. Oops, so I'm going to have fewer chances. I got my trading post, no problem. It's fine. So if I go into the trading post and go to the still, do I get a prompt to use the watering can here? Like, it feels like I could get still water, but maybe the watering can needs to be empty before I could fill it. So I guess I'll go back. I need to go back to the veranda anyway because there is a trunk that I never opened. And I can use the watering can to pour water there to get gems. And I don't know that I've ever been over this with the magnifying glass, so I'm going over it quickly since we're here. But I don't think there's anything important there. Okay. While I'm at the trading post, is there anything I want to trade among my other items? I can trade the ornate compass for an upgrade disc. I'm pretty curious about that, actually. Do I want to just do that? I could trade the battery pack for a salt shaker. I'm actually going to make that trade. I might do a lot of walking around today yet, and I've left myself a bunch of apples because I thought I might be able to salt them later, and now I'll be able to. The watering can I'm not going to trade, but I just want to see what it would trade for. Yeah, I'm going to trade the ornate compass that I bought in the showroom for an upgrade disc and see what upgrade disc we get as well, since I am here. So yeah, here are the apples that I left behind that I can now salt so that they're worth more. Make sure I've got plenty of steps. But the veranda, I can use the watering can. Here's a chest that I didn't open. Alright, just had money in it, that's fine. But I think it's every time you enter a green room, so I think I can enter the green room again and get the watering can prompt, except for I am wrong, I did not get it again. So I'll need to go up to the secret garden and the solarium, I suppose, which are mostly straight ahead, and I have a lot of steps still. So let's try emptying the watering can like that. Bedroom will help me a little bit with the steps here. Here's the music room where I started this whole segment. So, watering can, kersploosh, and then the solarium's over here. Watering can, kersploosh. I have lots of gems, great. The tea is still mysterious, great. Let's go back to the still now. Okay, back to the trading post, back to the still. Refill can. It totally does. This is totally a thing. I'm sure of it. Also, my headphones have just started to cut out, which means I need to change the battery. Alright, I had been a little bit cross earlier in the day because there was supposed to be a worker coming out to the house, which is the reason that I couldn't record earlier in the day, because I needed to be here ready if they rang the doorbell to have them come in and do what they needed to do. And they ended up at the end of the window having to cancel because I guess like their car broke down on the way out here or something, Or I don't know, maybe it's just a story because they forgot the appointment. Who knows? In any case, I felt like I couldn't record while I was waiting for the worker because I didn't want to be interrupted by the doorbell or miss them coming by or whatever. And so I was sitting and stewing and looking at the still water tints blank books. And that's the only reason that I even had the brainstorm of still water could literally be the water in the still. Like, the fact that you can refill the watering can there, that's got to be a thing. I don't know if using it on the book over here is the correct thing to do, but it's gotta be a thing. Okay, next page. Like, I'd have to get a prompt, I presume, to use the water to tint the book. And I am not seeing said prompt. So perhaps this is not the right book. Maybe Swimbird Back in the Library is the right book. It wants to be underwater. That's a possibility. Wouldn't make sense from the point of view of... Well, allegedly, the Baroness wrote this clue for Simon long, long ago. However, it's also the case that Herbert said that he wasn't able to solve the mystery, but Herbert presumably is the one who placed the clue in bin 43, in bin 53 in the vault, which required numeric coring in order to choose to put it there, which implies that Herbert would know about numeric coring, which implies that Herbert would know how to solve the puzzle, and so it might just be a setup, a narrative, to make us curious in order to get us there. Now, my steps are running low, but I can get to the library and still get back to Coat Check to check the watering can if I want. So I think that is how I'll play the rest of things out, probably, for today. But the fact that you can fill the watering can from the still water, that's got to be a thing. I just know it. And if Swimbird turns out to be a book that I can pour water on, then that would just be a super bonus. All right, any prompts? Are there any green rooms that have books? The gardener's logbook is in the greenhouse itself. So that is another possibility of where I could use still water on a book. And I do have the greenhouse now, but I don't think I have the steps to get to the greenhouse with the still water and get back to my coat check. So I have a decision point. Blank books. There are blank books here in the library. While I'm thinking about this, I just happened to look at the rostrums that are in the corners. Watering can! This is it. Oh, serendipity. Thank you, thank you, thank you. This is definitely not something that I would have come up with on my own were it not for a series of coincidental events. Alright, so we have a 5 by 9 that is presumably the layout of the house. A hidden U. From prism pristine, 3 paths convene. 3 lines of light, 3 shades foreseen. 3 colors to count, a sum of 18. But the one left hidden remains to be seen. Okay, I read those words aloud, but I did not internalize them at all. Let me read them again. Okay, I don't have the answer yet, but I can imagine it saying, like, use prism keys to draft 3 different color rooms, something, something, something. Sum of 18 could refer to the room numbers in the directory. Maybe. One left hidden remains to be seen. four corners of the house or something? I'm not sure. This is only one of two blank books in the library. So let's go to the other watering can and look at it. Tendered rose vine? That is another anagram of investor needed. I know it immediately because I've done a lot of anagramming of that phrase on my own. Here is another spiral. Okay. It's the rose vine that's in a spiral. Okay. My dearest darling son. So if she did indeed leave this for Simon, this would be a note to Simon. I am quite impressed. I didn't expect you to make it this far. Yet if these words have reached your eyes, rest assured the end of the spiral is near. Stay vigilant and rosewary? Wary makes sense. Rosewary is interesting. For the thorns, okay, so we're doing the rose vine thing, we discover are twice as sharp at the conclusion of each of our journeys. One final counsel I leave you. The waters of the west spring shall yet reveal more secrets than these mere passages. The waters of the west spring. I have to bring a different water here? I had so many plans, but not enough dreams. Your mother, Oravie, or however you say it. Orave? Wow. Okay. I'll have to think about that a fair bit as well. Wow. And I think those are the only two blank books that are here in the library. I did get 3 bits of water in my watering can. And I will be curious to try if I had used normal water and not still water, if I would have gotten the same outcome. I just want to make sure I'm not going to get any prompts. Well, it was just on the book itself. Blank books. Are there any other blank books anywhere? Like, it had not even occurred to me that there were blank books in the library until serendipity brought me here, because I'd happen to draft Swimbird, because I wanted to get the card of who had checked out the book in the past. And then this puzzle caused me to think about Swimbird wants to be underwater, and then I happened to be standing here thinking about what to do with the rest of my steps, and I saw the blank book. Okay, that could not be more perfect. I am tickled by that. I think it sounds like Water of the West Spring could mean if you come out of the garage, like, I don't remember, there's the kind of river that runs along the side of the west side of the house that empties, the west bridge goes over it or whatever. I don't remember where the spring, like where the water originates. So I think I'm going to need the watering can on another day. And so I think I will go bring it to coat check. So I will have it for another day. Okay, and so I'm going to check the watering can, which does mean that we'll be saying bye-bye to the Royal Scepter. I suppose if I need to get it again, I could probably, like, go down and solve the puzzle again and something. I don't even want to think about that, but I don't think I need the scepter for anything else. I feel like it's played its role in unlocking the throne of the Blue Prince or whatever already. Okay, so then to finish up today, I have enough steps, I think, to get back to the break room, which would be nice because I did not have a key card today, and days without a key card are like days without sunshine, which are like night. Okay, I don't have a sense of how long this day has been in terms of an episode, but that feels like a good place for me to go and think about everything I've learned again today. So I'm going to say that I hope, as always, that you all are having a great day, and I will see you again soon for more blueprints, where the mysteries just keep on coming. For now, bye-bye.